Welcome to Keep Hustling, where we are going past the why to get to the how. I'm your host, the always hustling Aaron Gordon, aka NY Risk Advisor, aka Mr. Keep Hustling. In this podcast, we will be diving deep into the professional and personal successes of our guests to find out how they hustled through the most difficult times in their life and their development to achieve the success they've gotten to today. So buckle up for what hopes to be an amazing ride. Let's get to it. Welcome to Keep Hustling with my guest, Phil Risher. Phil, thank you so much for being here today.
Aaron, my guy, thanks for having me, man.
You're very welcome. You know, very often I get stuck with people who don't know what living on the East Coast is. So you're outside of DC, so you're basically a real person. So I appreciate throwing it down with you today, having a little bit of fun, and we'll see where this takes us.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. In the DMV where I live, it's like there's rarely people that live here. It's most transient, but I'm from here. So I'm a real dude.
You know what? Maybe that's a good place to start. We talk about things like digital marketing. We're going to talk about service businesses, things like that. But you talk about being from a place that's transient, but being that guy, the fixture. You grew up here, you never left. Why? What does that mean to you? And also, what value does that bring to your business and to the local community?
Yeah. Well, first off, it was kind of crazy. Like when I started my business, I was just working with people only in the DMV, like home service businesses. And I didn't want to work with competition. So like we work with one HVAC contractor. We can't work with another one because like we want to beat them. Like we're all doing the same ads and the same SEO. Like what's the competitive advantage? And so I ultimately had to like go and scale and go to other places. But that was like from a business perspective. From a personal perspective, my wife and I, we met in high school and she went to college in Virginia. I went to college in Pittsburgh. And then ultimately we came back here and lived in our same hometown. And then we moved a little bit further out. But yeah, it's just like the DMV, Montgomery County, like that's just like who we are.
You were dating in high school and through college when you guys or you guys like kind of met back in the neighborhood?
Yeah, no, we dated. She was a senior in high school, and then I was just like going off like senior year kind of thing. She's a year younger than me. So yeah, we dated all through college, like the end of high school and then all through college, different schools, you know, like all the stuff. And then it took us like 10 years to get married.
I have spoken about the value of a life partner so many times on this podcast. And I just, as you know, I'm all over the place today. I wanted to get this episode done because I think you're awesome. But like, there's so much that gets lost in the shuffle of like being the community person, being the person. This has nothing to do with what religion or which religion, but being the mayor of your town, never leaving, that stable, young family life, all that stuff that I've never been able to quantify what it means for business success, but I believe it's there. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would say it's more so like knowing your roots and knowing who you are and being okay with like putting your toes in the ground and just like getting after it and not going flavor of the week. Like, at least for me, it's like I have solid roots, so I'm not easily swayed.
Take us to starting your business, because I think it's interesting. Obviously, service businesses are not going. Says that AI is going to take them over. I don't believe in that. I'm in the insurance service business, which may, which is looking at some level of a challenge, but I really don't think it will anyway. But like, I look at the line I say about AI is, I'd love to get there, but I don't actually see the time where you call a robot to come and unclog your sewer line at 2:00 in the morning. You may have a robot in your house who can do that. I just don't see that call. I don't see the emergency roofer. They might utilize a machine, but I just don't see that. So what made you want to do that? What made you want to help other people scale? It's a very interesting way of running a business. You want to help someone else make money. Obviously,
of course,
you will hopefully see a level of success.
Of course.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah. Coming out of college, I worked at Enterprise Rent-A-Car in their management trainee program, and I was built as an operator. So I was running a local branch of Enterprise when I was 25. $3 million business, got paid off the bottom line in profit. And so I learned to be an operator straight from Enterprise's playbook. Then I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. He said the number one skill you can learn is how to sell. So I went into Enterprise Corporate and I was selling to home service businesses what's called fleet management services. They have a fleet of vehicles. They need help managing them. They could use Enterprise. At the same time, I started a blog about personal finance. I was a big Dave Ramsey guy. And I paid off my student loans. I bought a condo with cash. And then I ultimately built this blog and I was featured in Forbes and CNBC and did a lot of cool stuff. I quit my job at Enterprise and I traveled around the country and I made content and everything. When I came back from that trip, one of my clients was a $3 million home service business that I sold fleet management to, and he loved my story. So I went to work there. In the first year, he went from 3 million to 4 million in revenue, 300,000 to 900,000 in profit. Now I'm telling you all this because I didn't choose this life. This life chose me. He fired me. He was like, hey man, you are pushing me too hard. I didn't even go to college. I didn't never thought I'd be making $1 million a year, and he's making $1 million in profit. Like, you need to go help other people doing this, because I'm only paying you $70,000 and I can't pay you enough to like do this. And like, I'm good. So he fired me, essentially. We met at Chili's. He named my company Flash Consulting. So my name's Phil. My wife's name's Ashley. I call her Ash. So he's like, call it Flash. Here's 2 other businesses. So he introduced me to 2 other businesses. And then he was my first client and I had 2 other businesses. And then that's when it started in 2019. So it wasn't like this grandiose thing of like me making a bunch of money. It was like I crushed it for his business. Then he was like, hey, you need to go help other people.
I know there's a secret sauce and we're not going to steal it.
Oh, we can steal it. We can steal it.
What are the common denominators that you see in the successful business owners, managers? But I want to focus on the scale level, meaning you start a business, you've achieved proof of concept. Now, what is the success, the key to success, maybe the character trait? Because there is a different skill or entrepreneurial drive or desire, or not even desire, because I think everyone has a desire, but focus on scale after build. Everybody wants to build a company. Everybody wants to scale it. Very often, the people who are the best builders are not the best scalers. And very often, the people who are best scalers don't have that totally insane entrepreneur startup guy thing.
Yeah.
So what do you see in the people who've been able to scale best working with you?
Yeah, with us, so we work with $1 million to $10 million home service businesses, our bread and butter. So like the $1 to $3 million, we call that like the swamp. That's what Hormozy calls it as well. Usually those guys, they're like doing everything themselves. They don't have any systems. They're the number one salesperson. There's a really good book on this called Buy Back Your Time from Dan Martell. Essentially, you buy back your time, you use the replacement ladder. And you get to the point where you're not responsible for anything in the business aside from leader. Hustler has to die, leader has to be born. That's the first thing. 1 to 3 million, you got to do that. 3 to 5 is usually like dashboards, data, systems. So you have good systems, but then you need numbers behind those systems to hold people accountable. And then you need to be able to know your numbers. And in home service, it's like your booking rate, how many leads you got to how many jobs, your close rate, how many estimates to how many you closed, your average ticket, how many you closed to the actual revenue amount, and then how much does it cost you to get a new customer acquisition cost. If you know those numbers, you can literally architect growth to like $5 to $8 million. The $5 to $10 million jump, it's all about building leaders, because your systems plateau, and then it's about who runs the systems, and it's about the team that you build around you and the leaders that you build. That's what we found from 1 to 10 million. I can speak to that with our clients. I could also share with like my story from like 0 to like we're about like $3 million if you wanted me to talk about that.
For sure. Let's go. The floor is yours, man. I'm enjoying this.
Yeah. So
a lot of questions, but I want to hear it.
No, you're good. So for me, I mentioned Tom, the guy. He's like, hey, here's some businesses. I was at like 200,000 revenue for my business, but I basically owned a job. And like I go on vacation, it's like I'm still doing work, and this was cool. Like I was making a bunch of money that I was making 70, now I'm making 200. Like sign me up. But what ended up happening was, okay, I'm 31 years old. Is this the next 30 years of my life? Like, am I going to be doing this for 30 more years? Like, what does it actually look like? And for me, you mentioned about religion and stuff. I'm a Christian, and it's about like, not hiding your talents under a rock, but like going out and multiplying them. And like, am I going to just sit around here and like keep these things to myself? Or am I going to actually try to multiply these things? So I decided that 200 is cool, but like, what if I actually try to go for this thing and like scale this thing? And that's when I really dug in, and I had to get to figure out like, who am I going to hire? How am I going to systematize this? What am I going to do? That got me to about $1 million. Then around $1 million was when I had to do Buy Back Your Time, because I was literally the point person on all of this stuff, and I had to figure that out.
I saw a great video. I want to talk about all that, but Dan Martell has a watch. You know about his watch?
It's like 500,000. So then he knows
500,000
a minute or something.
In order for he needs to make 500,000 an hour or something in order to retire, and he wears a $500,000 watch or something like that.
Yes.
I'll tell you what I find amazing about his strategy, or just that mindset, and then I really just want to focus on you, is that so many people don't even think that they should be thinking. I know that that's a complicated sentence about these kinds of things, and yet I hope you're going to tell me. But if I'm wrong, please correct me. Your show, you're the star. I'm just here to interview you. So many people who think that they shouldn't be thinking about these things, if they did, would be the easiest to implement. Meaning, if you're running a very, very, very complicated business, and I was helping consult for a company where it was a super microbiology something, and they were talking to us about life insurance because they wanted to buy life insurance on the scientist guy, because as it was developing, like his brain was it. Yeah. Right? It wasn't even his hands. It was like, as long as he can talk and he can tell the other scientists, even though he's in the lab right now, to keep developing this thing, that's what we're investing in. But aside from that, there are so many businesses and people that could totally buy back their time much easier than they think. Yes, it's work. Yes, it's mindset shift. And I think you have to be past that initial building stage that we were discussing earlier.
Yes.
But like, how do you convince people who say, no, I just have this small business. Like, I don't need more time, or I'm supposed to work. So like, it's, what do they say? Working on the business instead of in the business, something like that?
Yeah, you're working on the business. That's from E-Myth, Michael Gerber. But the way that I tell people this is
Time out, interrupt. How many books do you read a year?
I mean, at
Holy
least
smokes.
yeah, at least like 50 some, 60.
All right.
Like one, like I try to do like 1 or 2 a week.
I'm jealous. Go ahead. Sorry.
I have a 3-month-old, so I haven't been reading as much as I would like, but I mean, I love to read. I'm actually writing a book right now, so I like
I love that.
books are big. What I would say is specifically like it's around $1 million is that you cap your growth. So like we had a guy, he was 1.2 million. He's out in San Diego, electrical contractor, and he hired us because he wanted to grow his business. So he's like, I'm willing to pay the money. So last year, March, he did 70 estimates and he closed 30 of them. So his close rate's around 40 some percent, decent. This year, he thought he was going to grow his business and he hired a marketing company and we helped him generate 140 estimates. So doubled his estimates. He still only closed 30. So his close rate dropped to 21%. And we said, hey, you don't have the infrastructure to achieve the outcome because you're the bottleneck on your growth. So you can either hire a customer service representative, hire another salesperson, build out your sales system and actually grow your business, or you're going to be stuck here. The only other thing you can do to grow is increase your average ticket. So stop taking small things and build your average ticket and sell higher ticket things. He decided to do none of those and he fired us, right? Because marketing doesn't work. But we know that marketing is just one part of it. So what I would say to someone is—
I'm such a New Yorker, by the way, guys, listeners, loyal listeners. This guy, he's trying, you should be watching the video right now. You could see, he's like trying to mimic my New York by like, every time I catch myself trying to interrupt him, I'm just trying to be a good guy here.
No, I appreciate that.
Just unbelievable.
Yeah.
You have to call me out like that.
No,
okay, fine.
sorry.
I'll ask my question. I don't even remember what you were saying anymore. How do you feel about the high ticket versus high volume debate in service businesses?
Yeah, well, I can speak to home service. Home service is it's very hard unless you have a really good brand to stand out, because a gutter cleaning is a gutter cleaning is a gutter cleaning unless you have a really good customer experience and a really good differentiator. So you have to have a good system. We could talk about that. From like a service business like mine, like digital marketing, there's another good book from Dan Kennedy about marketing to the affluent. And in that book, he talks about like the number one line is, as you charge more for what you do, people work with you because of who you are, not what you do. So you have to build the story that people tell themselves about why it costs that much to work with you.
You kill the commodity trend.
Exactly. So when we talk about like, do you want a high ticket or a low ticket? It just depends on what the value is and what you're going to do. For me, I'm more high ticket. So I have to give my prospects and clients a story of why we charge what we do, because of course they charge that because blah, 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 blah. Same thing in home service, same thing with any other service business. Like you got to give them the story and not just compete on service.
Because you're saying service is very esoteric.
Yeah. Like in marketing, I mean, SEO is SEO. Like what the heck is someone going to do that's different than different SEO? I mean, there's different strategies you could do, but like it's SEO. Running paid ads is paid ads. Like there are things that you can do strategically, but if everyone's doing the exact same thing, what's the differentiator? There are other things that you could do, but at the end of the day, it's brand.
How important is the brand versus the brand leader?
For me, I'm more founder led. So like I'm out creating content. I'm pushing, our core values. I'm leading the pack with the brand. I could see it being very hard to build a brand without being out in front of the brand and like being the messenger. I have never done that before. So like for me, it's natural for me to be the one that's like the brand leader who's driving brand. I like it. And it also it's fun for me. And I would say it's relatively easy because I have a very clear picture, because I experienced all the pain points that my prospects have because I was in their shoes. So I can easily like explain it to people.
What do you think is the biggest initial misconception that people have when they call you to hire you? Like you come in, I assume you like look at the business, you kind of look at what's going on, and then they think X and really the solution is Y.
Yeah, we have a couple of things. First is that most people pay marketing companies for outputs, not outcomes. They hire a marketing company to do Facebook ads. They hire a company to do SEO. Like they're hiring them for outputs, not outcomes.
Yeah, but isn't long-term brand built on output and not outcome in the beginning, or in the middle after the formation? Isn't the growth about and building a brand? Isn't that about?
There's a component
not
there.
Outcome.
My company is more lead gen focused of growth. So like we're not building people's brands in their business. We're like, let's grow the bottom line revenue and profit. What I will say is there's the concept called chocolate broccoli. And basically what it is that they don't want this. Like, we don't sell this to them, but when we get into their business, this is what we do in order for them to be healthy or successful. And that is that we use three things. This is what I talk about in my book. Three things. Most business owners are stuck in this hamster wheel of it's called a three vendor trap. They have a marketing company that they email support at email, and they get on marketing calls, and it's all the same foo-foo every single time. Then they have a CRM with good data, and the data has the return on ad spend. It has the lead count year over year. It has the booking rate. It has the close rate, but no one's pulling that data out or fighting for data integrity aside from the owner trying to. And then the third component is automations, infrastructure, tech stack to make sure that the marketing ties in to the actual data and that the data is telling the infrastructure and automations what to do. And usually for $1 to $10 million home service business, they're stuck in the middle. So you ask me, like, what do we come in and do, or like, how do we do it? We plug those three holes with the systems that we have built for $1 million to $10 million home service businesses. And immediately the owner buys back their time, but more importantly, they grow their business because we have all the data and it's pointing to what to do for marketing.
Is there a super hack on marketing and brand recognition in service business and home service businesses?
Yes. The super hack is this. Most people pay for ads and SEO to try to get new customers coming in the door. And they think that the way that these big guys win is by spending more on ads. If I could just spend $10,000, if I could just spend $50,000, then I'd win. It's not. The way that they win is that they get lifetime value. And we have a saying, you can't get lifetime value without a lifetime relationship. They cross-sell all their services. They do email blasts. They do email marketing. They do cold calls out to their prospects and database. They do text message marketing to their past prospects and customers. They cross-sell them. They upsell them. They do all the stuff to these people that already know, like, and trust them. Where most people that do not know that playbook just focus on, oh, I need to go find the next hack to get leads coming into my business. When in reality, it's about getting the most juice out of the squeeze for the people that already know, like, and trust you.
And I guess in the home service business, it's probably a lot about residuals, recurring revenue. Meaning obviously you could be in the business where you fix people's fix
gutter
people's
cleaning.
boilers when they break. No, but gutter cleaning you need every year.
Yeah.
So gutter cleaning, you actually want to get the residuals, meaning the experience is so great you want to get to that. There are also services that people may never use in their life or do use it in their life but use it infrequently.
Yeah. So
and I guess that's just about focusing on how to make it so that it's also a referral source when people have a good experience.
Yeah, but here's a pro tip for you. And this is the part that I think a lot of people miss. And this is like, all businesses could have this if you're a one and done person. So the home service business that I went to was duct cleaning. Duct cleaning, you need every 4 or 5 years. So it's not
and
like
nobody does it, by the way.
Yeah, nobody does it. So what we did was anyone that came through our funnel, we automatically enrolled them in our Clean Air membership. And it was a free membership. And what they got with that membership was proactive scheduling, discounted services, and priority service. So what we would do every single year is we'd call them for a low ticket thing, like a dryer vent cleaning, which they should do every year. And we would say,
dryer vent cleaning, the most important thing you could do as a homeowner. We're going to talk about that after. Sorry.
There you go. But we would call them proactively and say, hey, as part of our Clean Air membership program, it's time to schedule a dryer vent cleaning. Are you available next week? Let's get you on the schedule. We're just being proactive so that way you're home safe. This is what I'm talking about, that like, if you just had what I just gave you, you would be able to take these, they only do duct cleaning every 4 years, and actually enroll people into a system that had the most lifetime value out of it.
I love that. And I love lifetime value, but I do want to stop just for a minute to say, if you own a home, or if you rent a home, or if you rent an apartment, you own an apartment, and you have a washer dryer in your unit, in your house, please have your dryer lint clean. It is, other than unintentional kitchen fires while cooking, it is the number one source of fires, residential fires in the United States of America. And forgetting about the fact your clothing doesn't dry, it's so easy. And I would dare say, and I know you're not going to like what I'm going to say, Phil, but even if you get one of those DIY kits from Amazon, just try to do it yourself. At least attempt it, because you're going to do better than nothing at all.
Oh,
and
yeah.
For dryer lint. And I apologize that I'm hijacking a few minutes, but I've seen the claim. So
it's true. I mean, I worked there for a year. I went and did dryer vent cleanings. I saw crazy backups. I saw fires. I saw all the stuff, and it's crazy.
What do you say to the people who believe that the key to success is building that community of service contractors? Like, I'm the HVAC guy, you're the plumber.
Yeah.
And you scratch my back, I scratch yours, and therefore I don't need to invest in marketing with you.
No. No, you need to, because when I talk to business owners, they say, my number one source of leads is referrals, word of mouth. And I say, what's your system to get more of those?
How do you quantify that?
There's no system. They just, they just reach out to me. Okay, that's not a scalable process. So we actually have a partner pipeline builder system that we built. And the way that I built this was because when I went to work at the $3 million business, about 1.5 million of that was HVAC contractors that referred us. And it was my job to get more HVAC contractors to refer us. So we had a whole partner system with HVAC contractors and restoration contractors that it was my job to go and get them and then go and deploy it to their technicians. And instead of praying to the Google gods for leads and sending them $100 a lead, why not send $100 to your local technicians for their leads that are warm, going to close, and two, you're building goodwill and it's going to compound.
It's unbelievable you say that. I had back to the dryer lint. I had my dryer lint cleaned in my old house maybe 5 or 6 years ago. And when the lady was leaving, she asked me if I had a good experience. I said, yeah, it was great. And then she said, would I recommend her? And I said, yes. She said, great. Can you mind mentioning that you had us at your house today to your neighbors? And I was like, that's interesting. I said, why? I'm in the sales and marketing business. Like, why? She said, I'm going to put a postcard, a leaflet in their mailbox. And if you tell them that you had a positive experience, then when they're flipping through the stuff in their mailbox and going to throw it out, it may trigger something in their mind. And I think that so many people in the marketing and growth space, especially as it relates to this kind of door-to-door service sales, don't understand the value of the may. Don't understand the value of the seed that's planted in someone's head. The problem is if you plant the seed and I follow up with them for my competing business, you're gonna convince them they need the dryer lint cleaning. But when they see 3 mailers from me, they're gonna call me because that's what's there. So that's you have to have the delicate balance, I feel, between that long-term thinking and that short-term execution of just pounding the pavement.
Yeah, I agree. What we would do was, so we would find complementary services. This is our partner pipeline builder that we built out. You find complementary services. So let's say you're a roofing contractor. You find gutter cleaning companies, landscape companies, pressure washing companies. And then they're the hero. You're not the hero. They're the hero that has a problem. Their problem is that their team members want to make more money. And their problem is that their customers ask them, do you do roofing work? And they don't do it. And then they go to their competitor who also does it. So what we do is we come up and we say, hey, now you can do gutter cleaning without doing gutter cleaning. And your team members can make more money just by referring us. It's a win-win for them and it's a win-win for us. So then we go and we do what are called lunch and learns or donuts and learns. And we get all their technicians. We tell them, hey, we have this new partner program that we're rolling out with your company. All you have to do is scan this QR code, submit the customer as a lead, and we'll take it from there. If we close it, we'll give you $100. Boom. Now all you have to do is just go find more complementary services. And there's a way to digitize this and automate this, which we do. But like that's the playbook that works. And that's what I rolled out, like $1.5 million. And I helped them get it to $2 million. And that's like the system.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I got to ask, you talk to home service business owners all the time. You're in the digital marketing space. You do a lot of great content, kind of straddle both worlds. Where do you see the home service business and those businesses 10 years from now?
Well, you mentioned AI. So like right now, someone could strap on some meta glasses and go out and look at your furnace. And those meta glasses would then go to a repository of information and tell them how to fix it. So there's not machines doing it, but there's ways that you could use AI to educate technicians on site. And you could get people that don't know what they're doing to do it. So that's like more in the actual, like what's happening right now. What I will say, the big shift that's happening for home service businesses is in AI search and how people are searching. And that's a really big focus for us. And the reason I bring it up, one, obviously it's marketing, but two, for business owners that do not have a plan, they're going to get crushed because it's the biggest change from yellow pages to Google search. And now it's Google search to AI agents and AI search. And for people that do not have a plan or are not proactive about it, they're going to be left in the yellow pages, you know? So the biggest thing right now is that before about 5 years ago, people were searching for keywords, HVAC repair near me. Now they're searching in conversations. The average AI search has 347 words. The average Google search has 4 words. Now, if you were to go to Google, they just made their biggest change in 25 years. They have AI mode where instead of clicking search on Google search, it's AI mode and it goes to Gemini. And it basically shows them different results than what it was before. They literally, like I'm talking as of June 1st, so a couple of days ago, rolled out what's called Gemini Spark, which is the personal search agent for people, where you can ask it to go out and find you a HVAC contractor, compare pricing, find availability on their calendar. Do you want them to book it for you? Like done for you. So you're no longer marketing to humans, you're marketing to agents, and you have to prepare your business for that.
God, I love that. I love how intentional you are. I love how structured you are. I love the hustle, and I love how you're helping people that really need it and are willing to push through even in hustle, even when people tell you that they don't need your services.
Oh yeah.
Phil, this has been awesome. As you know, we have a closing tradition on this podcast where we ask our guests to leave us with their favorite motivational or inspirational quote. Earlier, you told me that you had it in your head. I know. I know where it's coming from. Look at all these books behind you. But with that, I'll say thank you again, Phil Risher, for being here. Everyone should make sure to connect with you in the links below, and the floor is yours.
Yeah, the quote is, if you want something bad enough, you'll find a way. If not, you'll find an excuse. And for me, that's been my driving force, which is If you want it bad enough, you'll figure it out. And if not, you'll find an excuse. And maybe you don't want it bad enough and you start finding a bunch of excuses, and that's okay. But that means that you don't want it bad enough.
Absolutely love it. And if you want it bad enough, you're willing to keep hustling until you get it.
Exactly.
This has been another episode of Keep Hustling. Remember, do well by doing good. And of course, and always, keep hustling. All right, hustlers, that brings us to the end of another fantastic episode. Thank you for listening. The listeners are the most important part of this show. If you like what you heard, please leave us a review wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Your feedback means the world to us and helps us reach more listeners. Plus, be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an episode. We have some amazing guests and topics lined up for you, and we don't want you to miss out. And finally, if you have any suggestions, comments, or even just want to say hello, please feel free to reach out to us on all social media platforms. We are Keep Hustling Pod on Instagram, X, Facebook, and LinkedIn. We would love to hear from you to continue the conversation. Thanks again for tuning in and supporting our podcast. We truly appreciate each and every one of you. Until next time, stay curious, stay hungry, and keep hustling.